Greetings birdies, I'm Isa, and in this video I'm going to talk about the current updates for the competitive play for Overwatch 2, which will launch next week on Tuesday on the 4th of October, and in Europe time the update will be here at 9 PM Central European time. Blizzard just recently published an article about how they want to improve the competitive play rank system, because Blizzard doesn't want that losing is just purely a negative experience, so they want to give you the tools at your hands that you can see what is going wrong and how you can improve, and I'm going to talk about these tools right now. So starting with competitive play, you have to know how to get into competitive play, and if you're a new player to Overwatch 2, never played Overwatch at any point, you have to first of course go to the first time user experience. I just covered that a little bit in my last video. If you make sure you also check this out, and you have to win 50 quick play games to actually have access to competitive plays. This is not for the Overwatch players that have been playing Overwatch for the longest time. They will be just able to hit our competitive play right away. The reason why they locked for new players competitive play is just because they don't want to give the old players a frustration that new players coming in and don't know what's going on, and for the newer player they don't want to overpressure them, and so they can get prepare mentally and also skill-based prepare for going into Overwatch competitive play and have fun there. The biggest update for the competitive play is basically the skill tiers divisions, meaning you don't have an SR anymore. You don't have these typical skill rating points where you are like, either if you're in between 2,500 to 3,000 you're platinum, above 3,000, or like actually it's 2,999, and then at 3,000 to 3,499 you're a diamond, and then master and grandmaster, yada yada. They will have these skill tiers division now, meaning you have different skill tiers. They are from bronze to masters, and on top of that is top 500. So grandmaster is actually gone. You just have like masters and top 500, and each tier has 5 divisions. 5 is the lowest and 1 is the highest, and you have to reach 1 to actually being able to rank up into the next tier. Kinda sounds, honestly, if I think about it, it sounds like the League of Legends tier system. Their goal overall is to remove this stuckness, and I think they have a really interesting way, because you don't see your SR number anymore. You don't know exactly where you are. Each division kinda equals like 100 SR and that's it, but you will also get every 7 wins or every 20 losses / ties, you will get a so-called competitive update where the game tries to tell you where you belong. So you either have like you rank up in the division, or you stay in the same division because you haven't improved enough to go higher, or you can even rank up into another tier. So this is really interesting because you don't see your SR number anymore. You get every 7 wins an update, or every 20 losses or ties. I also have like the screenshot here where you can see how it kind of looks like, where you know when you get like your next update. I think this is a good thing to do because it, like as I said before, it removes the pressure of you not seeing your SR, and you don't have this feeling like, oh, if I lose 25 points, if I win 25 points. So you basically have to win 2 games to actually make progress. Oftentimes, at least for me, it was like I win 1 game, I lose 1 game, I win 1 game, I lose 1 game. So you're just being stuck at this all the time, and removing all this kind of rewards you a little bit more because you're not as stressed and pressured anymore how to perform. Instead of it kind of tries to help you to understand how you perform and what you can improve. And they bring a lot of nice tools as well that helps you to know what's going on, and I think it's amazing. It is also important to say that top 500 has no tiers. It's just like, it is literally the same how it was in Overwatch 1. You still have to play like 25 games in the specific role where you want to reach top 500, and if you want to have the combined leaderboard, you have to play overall 25 games, and that's it. And the leaderboard for top 500 is unlocked after 2 weeks into the season. So when the season starts, you have to wait 2 weeks, and then you can actually have access to top 500. So if you even done the 25 games before and you still haven't gotten your top 500 symbol, just wait a little bit. Also, if you're going to play our placement games, it is a little bit different now. Again, you don't play your 5 typical games to get into your rank, but instead you will also have to play like until you get your competitive update, meaning you either get 7 wins or you get 20 losses or ties, and then you get a competitive update, and that will tell you in which tier and in which divisions you are landing, and be aware of the fact that you're probably going to be placed a little bit lower than you're used to Overwatch 1, because they kind of want you to enable to progress, to improve during the game, and not just be like, oh yeah, we place you perfectly on the level you are, and so you're just stuck there. So they kind of put you in a lower tier so you can actually have, something to do in the during the season to like progress and get higher and higher. I think this is a fair point, unless if you're feeling like you are stuck in the yellow hell again, then it could kind of suck. For all players, I also have like a special formula to redefine the ranks again, as we also have to learn the meta and also the like the new concepts of what you have to play. But what's really weird is, and it's so weird to read this, if you have played the beta, I understand if you have played the beta that you might even end up being a little bit higher than you usually would be ranked for whatever reason. It's also a little bit crazy because there's a part of me where I'm like, okay, I understand because I have played the beta, so I know a little bit of how the new meta kind of works, so they will not place you completely lower. But what they also wrote is that if you have watched the Overwatch League, you also might be placed higher. And I'm just thinking like, what is that for a reason? Just because I watched the Overwatch League doesn't mean like I know how to play this right now. My aiming is still shit, even though I'm watching them. My game sense can be still shit, even though I watch them. Personally, I just have Overwatch League sometimes running in the background to get some Overwatch League tokens, and I'm not even actively watching them. So now I'm a little bit worried where I'm going to end. I think this is such a weird reward for people that actually watch the Overwatch League, like, oh, you're getting higher ranked because you watch the Overwatch League, but it doesn't make it has no impact on how you personally perform. So I think this is so rubbish. Also be aware if you going into rank, your skill tier and your divisions are not completely aligned to the matchmaking. So I would think you kind of play still with a bunch of different divisions, also maybe tiers together. Kind of also depends on how it is when you play with friends and your friend is in another tier. And the article does not cover at all how that will be. Like, what is the range? Can a bronze tier player play with a platinum tier player, or is it just like Overwatch 1? The article unfortunately doesn't cover this, so I can't give you the answer here. How's it going? But they're also going to change the UI a little bit, so we know, okay, we don't have levels anymore because all the experience goes into the battle pass by now. We don't have like a portrait that shows like, oh, you have a platinum border and you're still platinum. How the fuck can you play so many hours and still being just platinum, right? So this is going away, which I think is really nice because it kind of closes all these discussions that you have to justify yourself why you're just playing platinum and having platinum border whatsoever, right? But also what I think is interesting, you won't see when you rank up, you won't see the other tiers or divisions where they're playing in. So you can't be biased on, you never really know where your teammates are placed right now. I think this is really fair because it removes the way of you looking at your teammates and being like, oh my god, this player is gold, why do we play with a gold player when we play against a diamond player? And you don't think about this anymore, so you just go like open-minded, at least I hope you go open-minded into the game and just be like, okay, I do my best, I hope my teammates do their best, let's go. What they also will give you instead of in hand is basically to represent your way ranks is like titles. This is also like a competitive reward. You will get like titles or name cards. I haven't seen really how that looks yet, but I'm super stoked about this. I think this is a good idea, and I think it also gives a little bit more personal touch that I can choose my own titles and also my name card, however that will look like, and just be like, yeah, that's me, and not just like having this basic player icon and everyone looks kind of the same. You want to give the players a little bit of personalization items. Also during the matches you have now a new scoreboard. If you have played the beta, you might have seen it. I also have a screenshot over here how the scoreboard will look, and it is kind of focusing about to give every player an overview what's going on, so you kind of can improve your strategy you have with your team. You kind of can see like, oh, maybe we're missing some damage, we're missing something like this or that. And they also removed the gold medals, and the players that play Overwatch for a very long time know that medals is not a good representative of how did that player actually perform. If a Morad also always told you, I have gold kills and gold damage, and you're like, yeah, but this is basically not your role. If you have like bronze healing, you do something wrong, right? I like the fact that they removed the medals because they were not really representing the truth of the games. instead of they have like a scoreboard where you can see all the overall stats of all your teammates, where you see like who's doing what damage. Even though I'm a little bit afraid that I don't know. I was just thinking like I would be afraid that you open the discussion of like, why do you have so much damage dealer, because now the entire team can jump onto the real stats. But in the same time, you also have these people that just saying like, oh, I have gold damage, even though they don't have gold damage. We also have seen this very much. So also here, cons and pros again. But overall, I think it is a good idea to just show everyone the skill, like the stats you have right now during that match, right? Of course, there's also the ping system new that kind of also allows you not joining a voice chat. If that is not your thing, you can ping. And personally, even though I join voice chats all the time, I think a ping system is really good, because when someone tells me left, I usually turn right, for instance. But if you just can ping the enemy where he is, you don't have to think about where exactly is that. And it also kind of depends on the person who calls it, where that person is standing. So it might be it's his left, but it's my right, and then I turn actually for once left when someone says left, and I'm still on the wrong side. So I think the ping system will be also very fun. So I just talked about the comp rewards, and there will be also a little bit of changes. You will still be able to get like your competitive points, meaning you can still buy golden weapons. For a win you will get 15 points, and for a loss, no wait, not for a loss, for a draw you get 5 points. But they're going to remove the player icons and player sprays for each season, and instead of, you will get limited titles that you can use further on into the next season, because of course the competitive rewards you will get at the end of a season, one season equals also like the battle pass season, so this goes hand in hand, which is really nice. They gave you different amount of competitive points for each class, or like for each role you played, but now they just kind of reward the highest tier in whatever role you have. Additionally to replays and highlights, they also will have a new section underneath your carrier profile, which is called like game reports. And there you will have all the games you have played during your recent session. There will be a future update, like the games in your game reports will be longer in there, even though if you log out onto your session. Like imagine if you have to restart your game, then all the games you have played before are just gone. Like you can't access these reports anymore, and they kind of want to fix this, but this is also like postponed to a future update. Be aware of that in the beginning at least. The game reports give you a detailed summary of how you have played, how you have performed. They also will tell you which heroes you have played, and you can also click on the heroes and then see how you have performed as a hero. And they try to give you these summary reports so you can kind of get a feeling of where did I underperform, where did I perform well, what can I improve on, what not. And I think this is a really, really nice way, because it gives you a bunch of new stats you can look into and kind of like determine what was going right, what was going wrong if you want to climb the ladder. And in the end, I just can talk about the skill decay, meaning what happens to the players that haven't played Overwatch in a recent time. They usually will end up being a little bit lower ranked in than they probably used to. So if you had a break for a longer time, you will end up being lower placed, but they also will adjust your rank a little bit faster than usually. So if you still perform as your higher level, they will kind of put you back into it after you played a while and they saw how you have played. Which I think sounds really fair, because like if you haven't played for a while and you had a break, you would just get into the normal games where you would be. I don't think it would be fair if you can't perform as you used to. And in the future, Blizzard or Overwatch, the Overwatch team also tries to make a certain update for the game reports, that you actually also have like a progression, like a skill progression sheet, so they give you even more details at hand to kind of figure out what's happening in your games. In my opinion, all these changes they are doing to Overwatch to the competitive system sounds really fair, sounds really thought through, and I hope really people kind of can appreciate it, because I know I have read in my own community, in my Discord, you can also check my Discord down there, the Discord link is in the info box, that people are a little bit mad and pissed about, because it feels a little bit restrictive to people. Of course, like you want to have people that want to play your game, but I think also you have to play the people that play your game, you also have to protect them, and I think they try to protect them very well, that you don't have this constant toxicity, that you don't have all this saltiness in the games. Overall, I love that they put out the skill rank rating points, that you just don't have this number like, oh, I'm at 2,999 and it's like 1 point left from diamond, and now you just go in and be like, okay, I am in this tier right now. I don't know where I'm going to be, but I'm just gonna play, and then I see it after my next competitive update. And I think the competitive update, I think it gives a little bit more of a hype, because you don't know what's happening after the 20 losses or the 7 wins. And I hope it's more 7 wins than 20 losses constantly. But I think it's really fun because you don't immediately see what happened during your impact, and it also feels like they kind of want to reward you more for your individual skills, and not just like, oh yeah, you won, cool, you get the 25 points, or you lose the 25 points, right? There are different roles in the game, and sometimes you feel just like you can't do anything right now, but you still like might perform still very fine, but you still can't like turn the entire game around. And I think how they try to tackle this now to reward these people that actually play still good. Yeah, I'm looking, I mean, I said this every video, I'm looking so forward to Overwatch 2. I'm really excited. All these updates, I really appreciate them, I welcome them, and I hope the game will be just a blast, a fun mode we can play again, and I'm looking forward to it. The only thing I would like to know is if you want to play with someone who's in a different tier, can I still play with him? Can I just play within the tiers, or can I play just with the tiers that are surrounding me? It means if I'm platinum, I can just play with diamond or gold, but not with bronze or masters. How do you feel about these changes? Are they upsetting you, or are you also welcoming them as I am? How do you think Overwatch 2 will be in the future? Leave your comments down below in the comment section. I would love to see your opinions. And if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And also make sure to follow me on Twitch, because I'm mainly a Twitch streamer playing Overwatch 2 within next week as well, of course. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, and we see us next time. Bye bye!